Okay, so I hope to be able to create more extensive tutorial videos, but for now, I just wanted to create something that would help our clients transition from the Zaner360 into the new Stonex platform, which is a version of CQG. If you're logged into the demo or a live account, you should see the Stonex logo here on the left-hand corner. First, we'll just go through a quick overview of what we're looking at. Now, on the right-hand menu, which by the way, you can shrink by clicking this button. So if you want to see the menu, click it. If you want to have more real estate on your screen, unclick it. The first two windows or pages, they call them pages, the first two pages are locked. You can see there's a little lock icon here. This tells us that they cannot be customized, they can't be rearranged or changed. They're really just there so that if we screw up and delete the customized page or mess it up, we have quick and easy access to quotes and order entry and things like that. And also they can be used as an example. So few things that I'm going to point out here about this platform is you can customize every single aspect. You can do the color. You're probably noticing that mine's white and yours might be black. You can change that in the preferences. I'm not going to go through all the preference selections and things like that. There are tutorial videos that Stonex has created that actually go through each of those. But if you really want to know how to change it from light to black, it is go to preference and then go to theme, and you can choose light or dark. I prefer light, teach their own. These windows again are locked, so we cannot customize the rows and the columns, but on the other screens I'll show you that you can. You can, however, if you really wanted to, you can sort by any of these columns by clicking on it. And you'll notice if I click on a row here in the quote board, the dome panel changes, and so does the chart. So I'm going to click on the micro NASDAQ, and actually this is the mini NASDAQ, not the micro. You'll see the chart adjusted and the dome adjusted, and I can easily place trades. I will explain order entry in just a minute, but I'm going to do that on the screens that I've created for you. Before we move over to the pages that I've created for you, because I think they will be the easiest transition from the Zaner360 and the most convenient for most of our clients based on their type of trading, I just wanted to point out that this platform is 100% customizable. You can make it look or feel any way you want. So these are just guidelines. You can use these locked pages as guidelines to build your page if you don't like the one I've built for you, or you can start with what I've started and kind of customize it to your needs. We did email out links to the pages that I created, but I'll send them again to make sure everyone has them. The first one is DT View. And I'll start by saying, I think the hardest transition people are going to have is just learning the symbols, because the symbols are slightly different and, we're creatures of habit. I will send you a symbol list as soon as I get one compiled. Just so you know, you can search for symbols. So at the bottom of the DT view, which is what is pretty close to what you had in the Zaner360 as far as windows and positioning and things like that, you can click down here is where I've placed the quote board. You can place options in your quote board. You can place futures in your quote board. What I've done is created a watch list. And this watch list just has some of the primary contracts that people trade. The E-mini S&P, by the way, the symbol is EP, not ES. So that's a little different. But you can add any product you want. If you click on this button here, the plus, you can search for a symbol. So if we wanted to search for the Russell, we could do it that way, or if we need the symbol, we could just type it in and we can click it and add it. And you can actually add multiple symbols at a time, but I'm just going to click that one and add it. And you can see it's right down here. Now, the nice thing about the platform is you can have several different views, quote board views. I prefer the old-fashioned horizontal view, but you can, for example, on the lock screen, you can see this is like a little bit different view. You only see a few rows and you can fit a lot on one single screen. So if that's more your speed, you can definitely do it that way. But you don't have to have just the watch list and the options list down here. You can add grains. For example, let's go to quotes. quote spreadsheet, and you can see there's different libraries saved in here. You can create your own, but you can choose these that are already created for you as well, and then customize them from there. I'm going to cancel out of that. In later tutorials, we're going to go over some of the stuff with a lot more detail. I just want to point out the obvious things and the things that'll make things a little easier for you. The trick that I learned early on is if you see there's a little blue button here, I have a blue button here, here, and then in these are order entry windows. The blue button represents a linked widget. So if I have all of these widgets with a blue highlighted button, that means they're all linked together. So if I click on Treasury, it changes my chart, it changes my order ticket. If I click on Gold, again, it changes the chart, changes the order ticket. Another thing to be aware of is, these windows are kind of small. You can't see everything you need to see easily all the time, but you can very easily expand them by clicking on full screen. You see this button on the upper right hand corner of every window. If you click on full screen, it will do exactly what it tells you it's going to do, and then you click on it again and it puts it right back where it was. So you don't have to worry about things floating around and getting discombobulated. You just click that button and you can do what you need to do. If you want to expand your chart, obviously, again, you click on full screen. You can expand your chart. You can add studies by clicking on this button and either browsing or searching. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail there because Stonex does have some tutorial videos that go into that. And for now, again, I'm just trying to transition you, and we'll try to get to that a little bit later. Just for the sake of basic navigation, I showed you can close or open this menu over here. You've got something similar on the right-hand side. If you open this, you can toggle between alerts, information, which is going to tell you contract specs, and messages. Messages are going to tell you things like rejected orders, order status, historical system messages. They're not personal messages between you and someone else. They're system messages. You'll notice if these are highlighted blue, you'll see the window open. If you unhighlight it, it reduces it. So we can just do, if we wanted to, we could just do the information or symbol info, and it's going to tell us the last, the open, high, low, the previous. I'm going to click on gold here, and you notice when I clicked on gold, it changed my order ticket, my chart, and also my symbol information. The nice thing about this is it'll give you the contract specs right here. So you can see last trading date, first notice date, last delivery date. This information can also be included into your quote board if you want it to be, which is what I prefer. This quote board that I had built, if you notice, it does have first notice day and expiration if you scroll to the right. Again, you may not need all this information. So if you want to adjust your columns, you can click on these three buttons and go to manage columns, and you can adjust accordingly. Again, the Stonex video goes over this in more detail. But the quote board that I have created, I think is going to be optimal for most traders. And the reason I say that is you notice it actually will show your positions right here in the window. So I'm going to buy an S&P, a mini S&P. Once I click on this to highlight it, I can buy it my order ticket. I'm going to go over the order ticket in a minute. I can buy it on the chart if I really wanted to, or I could just buy it right here. So I'm going to click buy, and it opens up a ticket. If we have it on the hot, it's a dome panel. If we have it on the trade, we go see all of these options. This gets a little confusing to some people, but just remember, you don't have to use the drop-down menus. You can just click buy at market, buy at the bid, buy at the offer. I'm going to go ahead and buy at the market. And each time that you place a trade, you can turn this off, but I don't recommend doing it. An order ticket will let you know that you've been filled. And the nice thing about this is if you click on this little button here, you can actually offset the order if you need to, or you can place a stop loss or a bracket. See, if I'm long the S&P, if I want to place a stop loss, I can just type in and place my order right there from the confirmation ticket. The point of this little tutorial here that I'm going through is it shows you right here in your quote board what your position is. I'm long one, and I have an order working to sell one, and which is my stop order. And for more details, I can go up to my working orders tab up here, which we'll go over in just a minute. Another option that I put in here was to pull up an option chain directly from the quote board. So if I'm trading the E-mini S&P, I bought a future and I want to look at the options, I can just click on that and open up to full screen, and now I'm looking at the option chain and I can toggle between expirations. I'll go over the option chain in a minute. We're just kind of casually scrolling through. And once you have a position open, you can also right click on the symbol and choose liquidate, reverse position, go flat, cancel all the orders. So you can do all of that right from the quote board if you want to. If you don't, if you'd rather use an old-fashioned order ticket, you can do it that way. I've clicked on the E-mini S&P. Now I have a ticket open where I can buy or sell. The way this order ticket works is this price will continually move with the market. There's a lot going on this order ticket, so I'll try to keep it simple. If you want to place a limit order or a stop order at a specific price, you can fill out this information. You can toggle between stop, stop limit, limit, day good till canceled, fill or kill, all of those types of things. You can even do trailing stops, OCOs. If you want to fill out this order ticket and make everything specific to a price and an order type, do that and then use this button at the bottom, and you can reset it to refresh everything by clicking this button. If you're simply wanting to get in as quickly as possible and you're not too worried about a tick or two, you can hit buy market. If you want to guarantee yourself fill, you can buy at the ask. If you'd rather buy at the bid, hoping the price comes to you a little bit, you can hit this button here. But if you do want to use the specifics in the order entry, use this button at the bottom. Some of you prefer using a dome panel, and that's fine. To trade in the dome, obviously you can see you have a buy market, sell market, which makes everything simple. I'm going to go ahead and liquidate the long position that we have. And again, it shows us our order confirmation up at the top. We can close that out. If I was looking to buy down below, this is where things get a little bit different. You can drag the price. Whoops. Drag the price to the gray area, not the green area, and you can place an order there. There also is a way to set up, if you go to the settings and preferences, you can set for one-click trading. So if you do want to, and you can see I'm enabled there, I'm not going to place that. I have it enabled to where I can click on this gray area and place an order, buy or sell on either side. You don't have to do that, and if you're not comfortable with right and left clicking, not necessary. You can just drag and drop your orders. For example, I can drag this and do this. If I want to cancel these orders, I can just right click and cancel. But you can also use very similar buttons to the order entry window on the dome panel. If you want to buy on a limit, you can use this button, buy on a stop, sell on a stop. Most of you, I suspect, are going to use the vanilla pad and either buy at the market or maybe even use these buttons down here. Again, you can do the same thing with options. If you have options loaded into your quote board, what I highly recommend, once you figure out which options you're going to be trading, put them in your quote board. That way you can just click on it and you can easily buy or sell. Again, if we're buying on a limit, we can toggle the price up or down and use this button down here. Just like you would futures contracts, if you are long or short any of these options in your quote board, you'll see the number of buys, the number of the sells, and the OP, which is your open position. You're also going to see your expiration date. So to clarify, any future or option that you plan on trading frequently or have on your radar, I highly recommend putting it into your quote board. That's going to allow you to easily monitor it on the chart and place orders very quickly. So the key is running everything through the quote board and making sure you have these colors matched so that they're all linked. See all these? Okay. The reason I built the page this way is because you can see most of your account information all in one place. I'm going to go ahead and buy a couple of positions here. And I'm going to mention it one more time. This is the easiest place to place a bracket order or a stop order. So if you are somebody that buys or sells contracts at the market and then later places your stop in, doing it from the order notification system is really, really easy. You can place a bracket and have a profit target and a stop. You can go from ticks, dollars, or price. Um, but you can do that all from the order notification ticket. So that's a kind of a life hack. I'm just placing some orders here so we can see what they will look like here in our positions window. Now, obviously, I mean, this is a demo account. I don't care if I make or lose money. I'm just trying to show you the platform. And you can see I did leave a couple open positions, just forgot about them, didn't care, and brought the account negative. So hopefully your account balance doesn't show negative 13,000, but that's besides the point. Once you have them in your positions window, I've created a window that shows specific information that I think is going to be easier for you guys to manage. So for starters, you can manage the position there's a button here to liquidate the position. There's a button here to reverse the position. So I'm long one gold, GCE is gold. I'm long one. If I clicked this button, it would sell two at the market. This is a closed position button. So the difference between liquidate and closed position is if I click closed position, it loads a limit order ticket. If I click liquidate, it would do a market order. Either one is fine. You'll also see there's a drop down arrow that you can do basically the same features, but you can also buy. If I wanted to buy another one, I could do it this way. So there's multiple ways to buy or sell new positions or your open positions. It's just a matter of finding which way is easier for you. You can also click on this arrow here, and that's going to drop down your position. So if you have two, like we do at this point, it's going to show you the position separately. Let me click on this to expand it. We only have one bond position, so it's showing us one there, even though I expanded it. There's only one row. We have two golds. And again, we can collapse it and simplify things. And to get back to where we were, just exit full screen. And here we go. We're back into our single window. I think you'll find that this platform is pretty great and that you can filter positions. It's going to take you a little time to work on it and find how you want to do it, but you can filter by commodity. For example, I've got filtered by commodity here. You can filter by certain expiration months. So you can really make it do whatever you want. It's just a matter of setting it up. But if you don't want to put the work in and you think you just don't need to do that, this is fine too. You can just have a simple positions window and keep it at that. I also created a purchase and sales tab. So for those of you that are day trading, the purchase and sales is going to show you your ins and your outs and how you did on those. Okay, I'm going to place an order to exit our gold position, or at least one contract. I'm going to try to sell one at 2,700. And again, if I enter specifics, then I use this button down here. And once I place this order, you'll see here in working orders, I've created a window in the middle of the screen for working orders, fills, and orders is going to show all of them. You can see all of your working orders, all of your rejected, canceled orders here in this screen, and I can expand it again by hitting the full screen button. And we can minimize or expand each individual product if we want to. Or we can separate it and just look at currently working orders and fills. And again, our positions are up here, but these are our orders. One final note on the positions window, I've requested that they add a column for first notice day. I'm not sure why that wouldn't be in there. They do have a column for delivery. So I've added expiration and I've added delivery. If you're trading an option, the expiration date is going to be fantastic because that's exactly what the information you need to know. If you're trading a futures contract, the expiration date is not what you need to know. You need to know when first notice day is. The delivery window, it's not as intuitive as it should be, but basically it tells us that the 29th of November is first notice day because delivery is from November 29th through December 31st. So you're going to want to be out of that contract by the 29th, actually the 28th at the very latest, probably a little bit before that. So again, I've put in a request to have first notice day added, so it's just a little more clear, but worst case scenario is we can use the delivery column and just know the first date is first notice date. Lastly, on this page, I'm just going to go over the account summary window. Again, this is kind of how we had built it in the Zaner360, this format where on the upper right-hand corner, you can see your account information, you can see your margin, Open trade equity, this is just the visual. If you prefer to look at numbers, you can click on this version of it and look at the numbers. And of course, again, you can expand and get all the information you want. All of the windows have these three buttons, and you can basically manage rows, resize, add information. So again, what I'm showing you is just a starting point. You can get a lot more elaborate with it if you really want to. Next, we're going to go to the page option trader that we've created for our clients. Again, you don't have to use these, but they're just guides to hopefully get you started and make your life a little bit easier. Once again, I've linked everything to the blue dots. So the quote board is linked to the option chain. So if I click on a symbol here, I'm going to do the 30-year bond. It loads the options up here. Now, this is a demo, and the gamma, the Greeks aren't coming through on a live platform. It should. It's just there's not enough data in a demo to run it. Normally, you would see information populated there. But again, I can click through, let's say if we want to go to energies, I can go to crude oil and pull up a crude oil option chain pretty quickly with this layout. Natural gas, we can go pretty quickly. You can see the expirations are here. I can go to all the weekly, monthly options. It's listed by the expiration date. So that's probably going to be the easiest way. And you notice it has 11 days, well, that's 11D. That's 11 days to expiration, 14 days to expiration, so on and so forth. If you want to see more, you would need to change the underlying to something other than December. So for example, let's see if we can pull up January's options. Once I search for the symbol NGE, this is different than the Zaner360. The Zaner360 symbol for natural gas was GNG. Now we're talking NGE. It's the exact same product. I click NGE, pulls up natural gas. I'm going to choose January, and I'm going to hit OK. And that adds it to our quote board. Now that it's in our quote board, I can pull up an option chain. Once we've toggled to the market that we want to trade, in this case natural gas, now we have the natural gas chain, January. I'm going to click on the December 26th expiration, and you can see puts are on one side, calls are on the other. This is how I created it. You can actually change the chain to only show one or the other. If you click on these three dots, you can manage columns, so you can decide what you want to see, what you don't want to see. There's one, I'll show you one feature that may confuse you. If you click on the menu and you choose show details, it's going to show volume and open interest. It's hard, it won't, it's so scrunched on the original template. You can't really see it, but if you pull up the, click on the full screen, you'll be able to see the put volume, open interest, and that sort of information. So again, that's the three dots and show details. For this screen, I just got it out of the way so that we can work with a small area and make things a little bit easier. So let's say that we wanted to buy or sell a 370 call. We see the bid ask right here. We can just click on it and we can choose to buy or sell. If we click buy, it produces an order ticket. Again, you can click to hot to use a dome. I'm not a big fan of using dome panels for options, but I know a lot of our clients do it, so you could certainly do it that way. I prefer to use just an old-fashioned trade ticket. I don't recommend trading options using market orders, but technically you can. The exchange is going to reject that sometimes, and probably the time that you really don't want your order rejected is when they're going to do it. So you're better off just placing a limit order. One trick is you can see the bid ask real easily. You can see it here, obviously, but you could also see it here. Bid of 1009, offer 1180. So you could buy it at the bid, or you could buy it at the offer to make sure you get filled. Or you can toggle your price if you want to try to buy it a lot cheaper and then use this order ticket. Another thing you can do is add it to your quote board. Now, I already mentioned anything that you want to trade and follow and track should be in your quote board. It's going to make your life so much easier. That way you don't have to pull up particular options or markets each and every time you're wanting to look at them or trade them. So in this case, if I right click, I can choose add to list, and it's going to give me an option. I created an options quote list. So if I click that and hit OK, it's going to add it to my options list. Now these quote lists that we create, I created watch list and I created options. You can name them whatever you want. You can create your own list. But the great thing about it is you create the list, you add what products you want to see. See, should be able to find our natural gas call. Here it is. If we go to our trading page, the DT view, the other page that I created, and we go to options, that call that we just added from our option chain is right here. So now as we continue through our trading journey, we always have that option right here. We can see the bid ask. If we had any open positions, it would be visible right here. So I'm going to go back to the option trader view and show you again how I did that. I'm going to go to watch list. Let's go to the E-mini S&P. Let's say we want to buy an option that expires in a couple of days, 4 days to be exact. If we want to buy the 2175 call, we right click and we can choose buy, or we can also add this to our list. I'm going to add it to the option list. Okay. And then we can either buy it directly from this page by right clicking, buy, or you could have technically bought it before you added it to your quote list. So we could have just simply clicked on this and then chose buy, of course. Or we can add a handful of options to our options quote list and then go back to our trading platform and check our margin and check everything else and make sure we have everything square. And then from there, if we decide we want to buy later, we can click on it. And again, you can also use these buttons. If I have this option highlighted and I click buy, it creates an order ticket for that particular option. With this particular setup, having everything run through the quote board on the DT view page, you can also check the chart on options. Now, options don't trade as much as futures do, so it's not going to be as pretty as a futures chart. We can actually chart the option. So the way I have this set up is there's a single option chain that's linked to the quote board. So I can click on anything in my quote board and load the option chain. So that's easy, simple. You can shop for options in any market type. Now, if you're the type of person that wants to have multiple chains running, you could do that. You could click this button here. It's a plus button. You can add options, and you could add an options window. And that'll basically be something similar to this. Let me expand it. It'll basically be this window. And then you can have, for example, we have gold already. We could add S&P, bonds, whatever you want. And in that way, instead of toggling between different markets and then looking above to see, you could toggle up here between different tabs and see different market chains. You might want to do this if maybe you're trading options that trade against the December S&P and the March S&P. Maybe it's easier to do it that way for you, or you could just have both the December and the March symbols right here in your quote board or your watch list, however you want to do it. And again, from this page and any of the pages in the platform, you can show the sidebar and you can see contract specs, last trading date, minimum tick size, those sorts of things. On the option trader page, I've also included account information, account graphic summary, account summary, positions, purchase and sales orders. So once you place an order on an option, if you decide to do it straight from this page, you can see your orders here as well. You can see your working orders, your fills, and your open positions. So if you had an open option position, this particular demo that I'm on does not support options, unfortunately. So we can go through the motions, but we can't get a trade filled in options. So I won't be able to show you what it would look like in the positions window. But if you did have an option trade, it would show in your option quote board, but it would also show here in your positions window if you have it toggled. And if you wanted to quickly see your account summary, you don't have to go back to one of the other pages. You can just expand this and minimize it. So in theory, between these two pages, the DT view and the option trader view that we've shared with our clients, you should be able to see everything you need to see within these two pages. You should be able to do everything you need to do. If you are trading option spreads or future spreads, those are both available in this platform, but we'll have to get to that another day. This particular video is short and well, it's intended to be short and sweet. It ended up being a little longer than I expected. Hopefully it gets you started. So this is a transition and get started video. Once we get deeper into things, I'll create videos for each of the various widgets and windows and things like that so that there's a little more detail. But I'm hoping that this will just get you started so that you can explore and customize to the way you want it to be. Just as a quick preview, the spread builder is really awesome. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to take a look at it yet. I'll get to this in another video. And again, this demo doesn't allow us to actually execute options, so it's kind of a meaningless process at this point. But there will be a way to build option spreads, and you can have your option quote board right here, the same one. Like when we add quotes to our option list, it goes to all the windows. So if I open up an option quote board, it has the same symbols that I added in the other pages. So I can easily add these options to my spread and execute that way. There's also a futures matrix. So for those of you that are trading futures spread, this is pretty amazing. These things have been available for quite a while on other platforms, but they've been historically very, very expensive. So to have this in a free platform is actually pretty special. But you'd be able to, you can see this is corn, and it's December corn. So we compare December corn against March 2025, May 2025, July, so on and so forth. And you can see the real easy bid-ask quote. You can trade it. If I click on it here, you see there's a buy or sell button. You can easily trade a spread. You can also right click and do this way. It's pretty cool stuff. It's just going to take a little bit of time to learn, but hopefully we can help you shorten the learning curve. So stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.